Hey, what's going on, guys? Juan Cristales here, and I am going to tell you why I don't like doing fix and flips anymore. I've done a lot of them. I've done a couple hundred fix and flips, and I'm telling you, they're always a challenge. There's always big surprises that come up. There's always something that just gets you that's like behind the walls. I went to go look at a couple of houses recently. It was actually four townhouses. They were all joined together. And while we were there was a big storm that just came through, and there was water just coming into the house. I mean, it was just gushing into the house. And, they had a mold problem, they had just water damage. I mean, it was a whole mess, man. And you have to be careful when you try to do houses like that, because the challenge isn't buying the houses or getting a good deal on it, because any lender will look at it and like, wow, that's a really good deal on a house. Are you sure you can fix it for, I don't know, $70,000? I mean, those houses were going to take a lot of money to fix, probably a couple $100,000. And people don't believe me, but they're also not in the industry, right? That's the challenge, that people that are not in the industry, that don't do this on a regular basis, they think that like $100,000 rehab is a massive budget, and there's no way you could spend that much money. Being a builder and doing the stuff that we're doing right now, I'm telling you that $100,000 in this day and age is not that much money when it comes to construction. You can burn through that money relatively quickly, and we try to be good stewards of this money and not just spend it, crazy. But we also want to give a good quality product to the end consumer. So there's a delicate balance to walk there. Let me show you a couple of pictures of stuff that I had to do when I was first starting out. So this is insane. You're like, Juan, what am I looking at? What you're looking at is years of cigarette smoke on the walls. So much cigarette smoke. I mean, my friends, they're like, man, these people were painting the walls with their lungs. And yes, that's exactly what they were doing, because these used to be uh, what are the picture frames that used to be on the wall, and whenever they were exhaling, all the smoke and stuff would like get on the walls here, and then where the picture frames were not, that's basically what was being protected by the smoke, the tar that they were painting the house with their lungs. It's terrible, right? It's a terrible habit. But the thing is that, look, no judging if you smoke, guys, but like people smoke inside their house, and I did this house. And what's worse is that this is a mobile home. I didn't know any better, because the only thing that I knew at the time was like, hey man, go find a dog and fix it up, and then just try to sell it. And my personality type is like, I don't feel satisfied. I want to sleep well at night, and I don't want to give the end consumer a garbage product, knowing that they could potentially get damaged or hurt or injured, whatever the case is. So I always try to do the right thing by the end consumer. The challenge is that like you're trying to buy this house, and these people think like, oh well, you just paint right over it. Yeah, you could. I mean, you can paint right over that. It would be better if you just replaced all of it, and then just going fresh, because like now we have to replace the ductwork, and there's a whole mess. Let me show you another picture. Look at this craziness, man. I had to cover up some of this stuff because I know my kids are going to eventually see this stuff, and there's like a bunch of curse words. There's like, rocket ships, basically. You guys can probably use your imagination to know what that looks like when kids draw that stuff on there. But anyways, this is somebody had just taken a hammer to the sheetrock here. Look at this, just taking a hammer, just started doing this stuff. This is the top two worst smelling houses I have ever been inside of. Top two, just absolutely disgusting. It was terrible. Man, they were using the backyard as a dumpster. I mean, we got rid of so much trash in this house. It was terrible. But I mean, I didn't know any better, and so I was getting a good discount on the property. I figured I could just figure out how to do the rehab, and just try to work through it and figure it out. With very limited knowledge of how the process worked. This is what I mean right here. This is the kind of craziness that I would be like, I would look at it and be like, man, just rip out the sheetrock, figure out what's wrong behind the sheetrock and fix it and just go for it, man. This is mold. This is water. It's damage. Whatever. I don't even know what this is. It's just crazy. Crazy to think, right? And so, sometimes I think the biggest challenge that I had was like sometimes I didn't really know how much it was going to cost to fix something, because when you show up to somebody's house, it's not like I can just go ahead and start ripping this out, right? I can't just show up to the house and be like, hey, I need to get a good idea of what's behind the wall so that I can, create a good estimate. No, I have to just buy it, take the risk, and then just figure it out later. And so, doing that process, you have to go really deep on the price. And sometimes we would, do really well, but not always. Sometimes we'd have to spend more on the rehab than we wanted to. I got a few more pictures. Look at this craziness, man. This house got vandalized. It was empty, vacant. This is a flooded house. I remember this house, man. And there's a lot more pictures of this house. So this, the water I think got here. Now we there was a time when I was just like still doing flood houses. I didn't really care. I was like, yeah, it's not a big deal, right? But you know, in the last, this was 2019, probably, you know, 6 years ago, and you know, everybody knows insurance rates have gone up crazy, and like now we just stay away from just flood houses, flood zone, any of that stuff. It's just not worth the effort. There was a time when you could fix this, sell to an end consumer, and they would pay for the flood insurance. They would be okay with it. Sometimes it's the location, and you know, it was still a decent deal if you could buy it cheap enough. Oh, this is fantastic. So, if you guys, you know anything about Houston rap icons, this is the Ghetto Boys. I sent this to my brother actually because he's a Ghetto Boys fan. You know, very super popular rap group from the 1980s, 90s. I don't remember anymore actually. It's a CD, so who knows? Maybe it was the 90s. But anyways, I found it. It was still in the package. It hadn't been listened to. The package was busted and beat up. I put it in a UPS bag and I sent it to my brother. I said, "Hey man, I got something for you. Check this out." I don't know what he did with it. Hopefully he kept it. Maybe he threw it away. Who knows? But I found this in a house, a Ghetto Boys. And then what's crazy is that in the exact same house, I also found this book called White Trash Cooking. I wish I could make this up, guys. Look, there's my feet right there. I took this picture. It was hilarious. Oh my God. I was just floored by, it just reminded me of that movie Office Space. Office Space. Anyway, so, anyways, moving on here. This is the kind of garbage I would be like, ah, it's cool. You know, we'll figure it out. I'm like, oh man. So this house got burned up. I mean, this is pretty nasty, but yeah, it just needed to be gutted completely and start over. This is another beauty that I bought, man. Look at the number. I mean, it's just insane, right? These houses are so outdated. You got the paneling on the wall. You got all these, holes in the wall that you got to fix. All this stuff. I mean, I don't even know if this thing worked. This house had foundation issues. This house had fleas in it. It was all kinds of problems, man. Anyway, so these are the reasons why I no longer want to do this stuff anymore because it's actually pretty challenging. It's like putting together an old man when you're doing a fix and flip, especially if you buy the house way too old. Somebody just sent me a 20 unit apartment complex in Houston. They want around $28,000 a door, but I was looking at it, and this thing looks like it was built in the 1940s, 1930s. I mean, it is old, old. And you would, I mean, I'm like, there, that just seems like it's such hard work now in retrospect. Why? Because we're starting with building duplexes. We're starting ground up. Everything's clean. Everything's new. You have a fresh plan. The wood is new. The concrete is new. Everything. You can see every issue as you go through the process and you start doing it. When you go to a property that has had, different additions, they're like just kind of jigsaw puzzled in together like by force. Those houses become very problematic because you have to rip out all the sheetrock to try to figure out how the electric is connected, or you just start all the way over. How the plumbing is connected. I mean, that thing has been jerry rigged and sheetrock over sheetrock and like 100 layers of paint. It's just absolutely insane. I don't think I could. I don't think I want to do that. I think it's easier to just buy that piece of land, bulldoze those 20 units, and then just start over with something different, man. Because it's just, I, I mean, you can do it with. It was funny. I was listening to somebody talking about doing repairs as a rehabber or as a contractor. He's a plumber guy. It's pretty funny. He's like, with enough money, even small miracles come with a paid in full receipt. It's so true. It's so true. But you have to have so much money that it really genuinely is easier to just go ahead and just start over, which is why I have completely pulled back a lot away from this stuff. But like, it's just very, very difficult. That's why we're doing new construction now, and that's why we're going through that process. And I like it better. And don't forget, if you were looking for some white trash cooking books, Ernest Matthew Mickler still has a copy out there somewhere.